Alright, what's going on, dudes, and welcome back to Minecraft. In this video, I wanted to showcase the Finite Liquid mod, which has been around for quite a while. However, it was updated to 1.6 to include a whole bunch of new stuff, so I thought I'd take it for a test run. So what exactly is Finite Liquid? Well, by default in Minecraft, if you, say, place down a plane of water or a bucket of water, it will not keep its volume constant, and that if I dig out on either side, it'll actually expand to fill in those squares, and it'll go out for an 8-block radius from the source block until you go down another level, which isn't very realistic. Water would not usually do that. It would actually decrease in height inside this little well I've dug. And that's exactly what Finite Liquid does. So when you install the mod and begin a new world, it'll actually fill in the oceans with the Finite Liquid. And what that does is I'll come over here and dig out a couple blocks. And you can see that the water will actually fill that in. Well, that's nothing unusual. However, when I plug that up, it actually stays. It doesn't get cut off because it's away from the source block. Now what I can do is I can dig over here and the water will actually half its volume. And now it'll be a quarter height. So it actually maintains its volume as would be for water in the real world. Now on top of that, when it rains, it'll actually create puddles of the Finite Liquid on the ground, which can be a bit of an issue if you make redstone creations. Just keep in mind that it will destroy the redstone and redstone torches and whatnot, which is why I've got this huge glass plane over all my stuff over here, because I sort of learned that the hard way. Anyway, once I disable the rain, soon enough all this stuff will end up evaporating and it'll go back to the way it was beforehand. But on top of all the Finite Liquid in the oceans and whatnot, there are actually a whole bunch of blocks that were implemented in order to interact with the new water. So if I come over here, I'll first demonstrate pipes and pumps. So what we have here is we have a pipe that goes into the ocean, and there's a pump on the end of it. Now when I right click the pump, it'll actually take water from the ocean and it will very shortly fill up this little container that I've created. And I can right click to turn it off once again so that I don't overflow. So that's one thing. Those pumps can also be powered by redstone. So if I come over here and I flip this switch, it'll actually trigger that pump via redstone and it'll fill up this little area I've made for it. Now I'll disable that really quickly before it overflows. Actually, it started overflowing. My bad. But another block that was just implemented are these grates. Now right now the grate is turned off. However, when I flip the switch, it'll actually allow water to flow on through it, which is kind of cool. And on top of that, when I flip this grate, this is what's called a water sensor. So when water hits it, it'll actually ignite the redstone, and thus, that's why I have a door there, it'll allow the door to flip. So I'll undo that. Water will flow through, and voila, triggers the redstone sensor or water sensor, and the door opens. So kind of a lot of possibilities with that, I suppose. Also, sponges actually have a purpose now. When you turn on the pump, again, the pump is just placed in the water. The sponges will now actually absorb the water, and I'll let it go for a little bit of time. I don't actually know how much each sponge can hold. Quite a bit, though. So now I'll go ahead and turn off the pump just by right-clicking it again. And now if I right-click the sponge, water will actually come out of it. Whoops. It's obviously more useful if it's on an edge. That way you can actually see the water coming out of it, and it'll flow back into the ocean. So yeah, that's sponges. They actually serve a purpose now. They hold water, and now that I've gotten rid of it all, well,